All right, so tomorrow, October 18th, there are nationwide protests happening called No Kings. And if you haven't heard about this, that's by design because mainstream media and especially Trump media would rather talk about literally anything else than organized resistance to Trump's authoritarian power grabs. But here's what you need to know. And cue ball Stephen Miller has actually just said that Trump has plenary authority, which means absolute authority. So that is why these types of protests are happening. And obviously, the phrase "no kings" should be very obvious. Basically, everybody's going to be protesting the fact that we don't have kings in America. You got people like Stephen Miller saying that Trump has plenary authority, which, if you don't know what that means, let me translate from fascist speak into English. It means absolute power.
Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority. Has Stephen?
Stephen Miller, the guy who looks like he drinks the blood of immigrant children to stay young and somehow still looks like a reanimated corpse, literally said this out loud, not in a leaked recording, not in a secret meeting, on camera. The president has absolute authority. You know what that means? That means that Trump can do whatever he wants and nobody can stop him. Not Congress, not the courts, not the Constitution, certainly not you. And this isn't new. Trump has been saying this for years. His lawyers have argued in federal court that he could order the military to assassinate a political rival, and as long as he's president, it's legal. Not it would be investigated, not it would go through proper channels. His lawyers argued that the president is immune from prosecution for any official act, like a king.
The powerful Supreme Court has the final say on what presidents can and cannot do. Today's historic ruling means a president can never be prosecuted for anything that's part of their official duties.
Here's the thing that really pisses me off. They're not hiding it anymore. Stephen Miller goes on TV and says plenary authority like it's normal, like we didn't fight an entire revolution to get away from exactly this kind of power. You know what the founding fathers called someone with absolute power? A tyrant. And look, this isn't just about Trump claiming immunity for himself. This is about the fundamental question, is anyone in America above the law? Because right now, the answer from this administration is yes, if your name is Donald Trump. Trump gets his classified documents case dismissed by a judge he appointed. Trump claims immunity for trying to overturn an election. Trump pardons his allies, prosecutes his enemies, and faces zero consequences for any of it. Meanwhile, John Bolton gets indicted for the same document stuff Trump did. James Comey gets charged for testimony. Letitia James gets charged for mortgage applications. The message is clear. The law applies to Trump's enemies, not to Trump. And when Stephen Miller goes on TV and says the president has this authority, he's telling you exactly what they're planning to do. Pay attention when these dummies reveal their plans so honestly. They're not dog whistling anymore. They're not using coded language. They're literally telling you, we believe the president is a king and there's nothing you can do about it. Except there is something you can do. Tomorrow, people are taking to the streets in every major city to say, no, we don't have kings in America. And if you care about democracy, if you care about the rule of law, if you care about anyone being held accountable for their actions, you should be there. Protests are happening in every major city. Find your local press, protest, show up, bring signs, bring your voice. Because here's the thing, they're counting on you not showing up. They're counting on you being too tired, too busy, too convinced that it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Every dictatorship starts with one person claiming they're above the law. Every slide into authoritarianism begins with people shrugging and saying, what can we do? Tomorrow, you can show up. That's what you can do. Because when Stephen Miller tells you Trump has absolute power, Trump's lawyers argue he can't be prosecuted for anything, and his Justice Department only goes after his enemies. Believe them. They're showing you who they are. They're telling you what they're going to do. The question is, are you going to listen? And speaking of people who tried to push back against illegal orders, let me tell you about an admiral who just learned what happens when you question this administration's absolute authority. If you want to see what happens when military leaders do push back against Trump's claimed absolute power, stick around for the next story. And if you've not subscribed yet, hit that button below because YouTube is actively suppressing disgusting political content, and you won't see these videos unless you subscribe. Drop a comment and let me know, are you going to the No Kings protest tomorrow? What city? Let's build this movement. And seriously, when Stephen Miller says plenary authority out loud, when they're not even hiding the authoritarian playbook anymore, pay attention. They're telling you exactly what they're planning on doing.